Last time you saw us, we did an amazing upwind sail, making our way to another beautiful anchorage. But now, as always, it's time to move on again to somewhere new. Basically just sailed off anchor then, buddy.
Basically, yeah.
The engine's on now because I need to go nose into wind, but you were in neutral then when we lifted anchor.
And we were sailing.
And we were sailing, not much.
It's the first time we've ever done it though.
I know, we need to try sailing on anchor next time.
Oh, it's a bit too busy. I'd love to.
I know. So good morning everybody, we are on the move again. We had a lovely night at anchor, didn't we? It's really nice.
It was amazing.
Really peaceful, really calm. And it's always really nice when there's a spot and you don't even like, you almost forget you're on anchor. So calm, so perfect holding on the sand, so yeah. We had a lovely slow start to the morning as well. Just had a swim, had some coffee and just relaxed. It's about 12 o'clock now. And we're due to get where we're going about 4:30, and we're heading to Port Column. We are sailing, which when you get straight into sailing, you know it's going to be a good day, right?
Yeah.
Right? Straight into a sail, 4 knots, speed over ground.
In 7.7 knots of true wind.
Happy with that, and it feels so peaceful and calm.
Sea state safe that.
But yeah, we're just going to eat some lunch, enjoy the journey. Hopefully the wind stays like this and we'll get some nice sailing shots again. Unless you're sick of that, of course. If you're sick of that, I don't know what else we can film, but...
Yeah, let us know if you're sick of the sailing shots.
What else can we film for them? Maybe Bryn can do a little song and dance.
We'll do
his party trick for you for entertainment. What's your party trick?
I hope my food don't go. Look.
Whoa! Come on, you've never seen that
Rubber
before.
fingers. Double jointed arms.
Whoa! Oh damn. We're just taking a little mid-sail dip.
Never done this before.
No, we've never done this before. The wind has basically died. We're currently going 1.4 knots sailing. So we thought, do you know what? It's a lovely little spot. It's nice and warm. We've got a fender and a line out.
Yeah.
See anything?
I could just see the button and like some little fishes down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Whee! Hello.
So yeah, Brendan's just messaged as well on WhatsApp saying that there's dolphins ahead of us, so I'm just keeping a weather eye, literally looking out everywhere for fins. And also this mainsail's acting as good sunshade.
You do look like you've got a good little spot there actually.
Whichever side the sun's on, I always manage to find a way of staying out of the sun.
Yeah, the engine's on now, innit?
You wouldn't think it though.
You wouldn't? Natural, ain't you? Naturally tanned. Yeah, engine's on now for a bit, and because the wind's died down to 5 knots at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually going to go and crack on editing for a little bit.
Oh, enjoy.
But you shout me as soon as you see anything. Do you understand?
I promise. Look. Jade!
I'm coming!
Dolphins! So we got the system.
Wait, is that a dolphin?
Why are you like
Love
this?
you.
No.
Unfortunately, the dolphins didn't show themselves, and the wind also didn't return. Thankfully, it wasn't long until we were lowering the sail and arriving at our next anchorage. So we are down, the anchor's set. We just want to go and check it because we can see some rocks on the bottom, and we just want to make sure that we are anchored in sand. But it looks absolutely stunning here. apparently that's Rafael Nadal on his yacht.
Do you want to pass me the camera?
Just rowed to shore and we're just gonna have a little explore of the town here in Portocolum. And it's just so nice when you can row the dinghy really, really close to where you're anchored. Heading back to Talisman now. So that was a really cute little town, isn't it?
Yeah.
That beach was absolutely stunning.
That little colour that we found around the corner.
Just trying to row like this.
It's actually a really quiet place.
Yeah, it's so quiet.
So quiet, and this is meant to be like the start of peak summer sort of thing. So yeah, no, it's just beautiful. And the quietness is a nice aspect of it as well, especially coming from places like Palma and Ibiza, like where it is very, very busy. This is just a nice, cute little side of Mallorca that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, it's different vibe, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's Talisman up ahead. So we'll let's row because we're kind of just sitting here floating at the minute, getting in everyone's way.
Yeah.
We didn't have long to hang around, and it was soon time to move further up to the northeast. After yet another motor sail and about 4 hours, we arrived in Cala Ratjada.
Hey! So, let's catch you guys up.
We're currently in the most northeasterly point of Mallorca, here.
So we've decided to hang out here for a few days, even though we were originally planning to cross to Menorca and then cross over to Sardinia. Basically today or tomorrow, that was the plan. But the big issue we're having is a weather window for Menorca and Sardinia. And essentially we're trying to find a good window to cross, and we're a little nervous because we know it can be a bit of a rough passage and there's a lot of less than ideal weather coming in. So we're not entirely sure when we're going to cross, what our plan is, but I'm sure it's going to be an interesting crossing anyway. So in the space of about 5 minutes, our plans changed drastically.
Amazingly.
So obviously we are no longer going to enjoy ourselves, get loads of diving in, relax for a few days. We are going to head first light tomorrow for a 2.5 day sail to Sardinia.
Yep. It literally always comes down to the wire.
I know. You've got to be adaptable for sailing, I tell you.
Yeah.
The reason for this was basically because we've rechecked the weather again now, and there's not really another good weather window. It might change obviously, but there's not currently another good weather window in the foreseeable future, is there?
No.
For at least 7 days, we can't move anywhere.
More than 10 days.
At least 10 days. It's just getting worse and worse. So we figure it's actually a semi-decent weather window now, and we should just take it because it'll mean we'll get 2.5 days of good sailing, hopefully. Hopefully not too high, but you never know.
I suppose one of the reasons why we was a bit sceptical of this weather window to start with as well was because the weather was consistently changing. So we was like, we didn't trust the weather, but the weather seems to be stabilising a little bit more, and it seems to be settling a little bit more. So we would be more happy going out in it. We are going to check the weather again tonight and again in the morning, so we're saying this now, but if it changed again, we'd be like, nope, that's it, we're leaving it.
Quickly now, we've only got about a couple of hours kind of spare because we want to start getting stuff ready to leave tomorrow, but we're going to go for a couple of hours, just go and enjoy a dip, go and have a swim, a little dive, not far away from the boat. We'll catch up with you in a bit. Let's go take a dip. nice and warm.
It's so warm. The temperature's like 27 degrees. I can feel it's a little bit colder by me, but not like this much. We get comments every time that we free dive or people see us in the water and things, people going, oh, you need to start spearfishing, you need to start catching your food. Now this isn't something that we're opposed to at all. Like, living from the sea is something that actually we think is pretty cool and fortunate to do if you live on a sailboat. But there are some caveats to that. So the first thing is that we are cruising in the Mediterranean. It's no secret that the Mediterranean is pretty overfished. So when people see some of our videos and you can see there's a lot of fish there, take a closer look and see if there's anything that you would consider big enough to shoot and eat. In every country they have bylaws, and these pretty much tell you what size a fish has to be before you could catch it to eat. Now everywhere that we've been free diving so far, we've seen quite a few fish around like little reefs and rocky patches, but as I say, none that we would feel happy enough taking for our dinner. So when we're free diving, generally we aim to go to marine reserves or dive sites because this is generally where there's the most populations of fish. This is usually as well because the fishermen aren't allowed to go here. So when you see us diving in these areas, that's why it looks so good in the Med, because there are certain little areas where there is a lot of life. So far this sounds like we're kind of against spearfishing, but I promise you we're not. It just has to be done right. So if we come across an area where there isn't any bylaws that are restricting things, there isn't a marine reserve, then the potential is there that we will start spearfishing in these countries. So I hope this clears up a little bit about spearfishing and why we haven't done it yet, but we would look forward to doing it in the future in the right circumstances.
Guys, since we last spoke about 10 minutes ago, stuff happened. So we moved anchorage because it was insanely rolly, like crazy rolly. So we moved not far, literally just across the bay. And it seems so much better here, and it's absolutely beautiful, but like the parties they have here is so noisy. Yeah. They're playing all kinds of banging tunes here, aren't they?
Yeah, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, Elvis.
David Bowie.
The tunes. But also, Brynner's decided to break his tooth.
I didn't decide.
I don't know if they'll be able to see it, but
it's cracked. We'll show you a picture if it doesn't show up.
Tooth.
Yeah, I'm going to try and nurse it.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and take care of it as best as possible until I potentially go back to the UK at some point.
Are you feeling okay about going tomorrow still?
Yes, I think it's the best opportunity that is upcoming. Obviously, I had that moment where I was like, my tooth is a sign, I should not go.
The omens.
The omens are here. Unless I wake up and I'm in pain or not feeling it or whatever, we are going tomorrow still.
So we just had some dinner and we wanted to really fill you guys in with kind of why we make our decisions on the weather and what we look for.
There's lots of different apps and resources that people can use to get these predictions. The ones that we use is PredictWind, Windy, and just a general weather forecast from somewhere on Google. So what we tend to do is we'll look at all the different weather models on PredictWind predominantly. That is the weather tool that we use the most. One of the first things that we tend to look for is, are we going to be sailing upwind or downwind? Because that can be two totally different experiences. If you're sailing downwind, you can sail in slightly higher wind conditions and it'll still be quite a comfortable ride. Whereas if you're sailing upwind, you're probably going to want lower conditions because it's going to be a bit of a rougher ride sailing into the weather.
So for the forecast for this passage, you can see it's mostly a southeasterly wind, which means we will be going slightly into wind.
Looking at the weather that we've got, there's kind of three things that we're mainly looking at. So we want to see what the wind speed is that's predicted across the passage, so that's across a route, and then also what the gusts are doing. So you don't want to see a nice calm prediction like we did when we were sailing down Portugal, where it was 8 to 10 knots, and then all of a sudden you hit an acceleration zone which doesn't show up on a wind prediction, but if you looked at the gusts it would, and then you get hit with 30 knot gusts and it will take you off guard, and you got to be careful in those situations. So we look at the gusts as well, and throughout this passage generally we haven't got anything higher than 20 knots, or at least that's what we're looking at right now.
We already know that we can sail in higher than 20 knots because we've done it. We've sailed in 32 knots, which was a surprise.
Yeah.
That was also an acceleration zone, and it was perfectly comfortable, but the sea state was very flat. And just because we know we can sail in it, we definitely don't choose to put ourselves out there if we don't have to. We'd rather just wait for a more calm, forgiving condition. But 20 knots, that's perfectly fine, isn't it? 20 knot gusts, we can manage that.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll likely put a reef in the mainsail at about 16, 17 knots,
Yeah,
maybe.
but this is a big passage, so it's around, I can't remember, I think it's like 230, 240 nautical miles, something like that, and it's going to take us 2 to 3 days to complete, so we don't really want to be taking chances that we don't have to take.
So the next thing we look at, and probably more important, is waves.
Us leaving tomorrow morning, it looks like most of the weather comes in on Sunday. That's where the waves pick up the most, and that's where it's probably going to be a little bit more sporting, should we say. The wave predictions that we've got at the minute are around 1 metre, and that's at the highest. On our actual course, on the route that we're going to be taking, it's probably more likely to be 0.7, 0.8 metres. But what this is showing us on the app is that this is an average. That isn't to say that you won't get the odd wave that will come through at 1.5 or 2 metres. You never know. You should never trust fully the technology, because the conditions are the conditions that are going to be out there. An app won't necessarily tell you exactly what you're going to be coming up against.
The thing that's quite important to look at is the wave period, as you can see on this app. So this is how far away from each other the waves are. This is really important for how uncomfortable the waves will be as well, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
We had somewhat big waves in the Bay of Biscay.
I would have actually said at the highest, I reckon there was
Yeah.
like 3 and just over 3 metre waves.
Yeah. But definitely consistently 2, like for instance, probably pushing up to 3. And they were following waves, they were behind us, so it was quite comfortable. And they were quite far apart, mostly. This meant that they were relatively manageable, they were quite comfortable to deal with, weren't they?
Yeah, for sure. Like a following sea that's got quite a large wave period distance means that you're just going to slowly lull between them. But then if you turn all that around and it's short waves and you're going into them, you end up hitting them more so. And that's where boat design can make a passage, if you're going into the weather, more comfortable or not comfortable. And boats with a knife-like front are the ones that are going to cut through the waves and make it more comfortable for you.
Just think about this actual forecast here, because these are quite close together. Head into 1 metre waves at like 3.7 seconds apart. What would you think of that?
I'd say it's going to be sporting. Like, it's not, I don't think this is going to be the most comfortable passage.
So it's actually not ideal for us personally, the sea state that we're going into tomorrow. It's not anything scary. Like we said, it should be no more than 1 metre waves, which would be fine, but I think it's going to be a bit uncomfortable.
Why are we going if it's not exactly the perfect ideal weather window? Well, firstly, you don't always get them perfect ideal weather windows. But secondly, the main reason for us is that there's more weather coming in behind it, and the Balearics are actually going to be affected worse by this weather than Sardinia and Corsica.
So that's where we're at, basically. Our original plans, of course, of chilling out and swimming and diving are not happening at the moment, but that's why you should never ever set plans on a boat. What do they say? On a sailboat, your plans are basically etched in the sand, being washed away by the tide.
Yep.
That's boat life.
That is boat life.
But yeah, we're really excited. I think we're both a bit, what's the word? We're both a bit excited, nervous.
Yeah.
As we always are before a bit of a passage. Especially when it's a sudden passage, you feel a bit like, have we got everything? Are we ready to go? And yeah, I think that's about it. The next video, hopefully, will be us on an awesome 2.5 day sail to Sardinia.
I can't wait to get to Sardinia. It looks absolutely beautiful, and if the Balearics have been anything to go by, I think it's going to be amazing.
So thank you all so much for watching and supporting our channel and our videos so far. It really means a lot. We absolutely love chatting to you in comments, so please keep them coming. We get back to all of them when we get time. And yeah, I think that's it for now. So we will see you in the next video.
Yep, catch you then,
Hope
guys.
to see you next Friday, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.